Billy Batson, I choose you as champion. Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
All movies are subjective, so here's my opinion. If you are a DCEU fan, watch this movie. If you are not a DCEU fan, but you enjoy good superhero movies, then I highly suggest that you watch this movie. We kick things off with a young Thaddeus Savannah, played by Ethan Pugiato, and this character is being humiliated by his older brother and his father, John Glover, and it's a very interesting scene because it gives us a villain origin story. It explains who this character is. So I thought that was interesting of how the movie showcased the villain's origin story. I thought it was absolutely, positively solid storytelling here. Then we continue the story with Asher Angel, who plays Billy Batson. When we are introduced to Billy, we get that backstory, and so we have that connection with him, which is great. And he is a kid who likes to get into trouble. The introduction scene with Billy Batson was amazing. It had me cracking up laughing in the theater, and it takes a lot for me to laugh. And on that note, that's when we are introduced to Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Freddie Freeman in here. He's a live wire, this kid. He's always going off at the mouth and chitting and chattering and going on and on about stuff. So Billy Batson, with good in his heart, tries to save Freddie Freeman from being beat up by these two bullies, who are like Bulk and Skull from the Power Rangers, just a bit more vulgar because they like to spit on babies. But in the process of him trying to be a protector, he gets outnumbered and he runs away. He hops in the subway, then the mysterious stuff that happened at the beginning of the movie happens to him. And before we get into that, we do get a bit of illustration as to what's going on with this whole Shazam wizard showing up. The wizard Shazam has not found anyone to be his champion, and then these evil demons are trapped in these gargoyle statues, and the kid at the beginning, Ethan Pugiato, who played the young Savannah, is now an adult, played by Mark Strong, who is obsessed with getting the power of the dark side in his body, and he thirsts for that power. And it was a good setup that we had here, so I understand Mark Strong as a villain leading into the movie. And then Billy Batson shows up, and Billy Batson's like, hey, I'm not worthy, I'm a punk, I'm just a kid who likes to create havoc, I'm not a good person. And he even says maybe no one on earth is a good person. But the Shazam wizard is extremely desperate for someone to be his champion and to stop the evil. So we have a pretty funny scene, but it also makes sense, and they give us some exposition as to what's going on and why the wizard Shazam is here and why these demons are locked up in these gargoyles. Now Billy Batson turns into Zachary Levi, and Zachary Levi's performance here is fantastic. This dude absolutely crushed it, playing a child but being an adult, if you know what I mean. He has the mind of a child because he behaves like one, because he is one in the movie, but then at the same time he's an adult and he's trying to get used to his powers. He's not used to looking the way he does. So I thought it was a very interesting part in the movie when they're figuring out his powers. It's very fun and it's entertaining. So I like that dynamic between Freddie Freeman and Zachary Levi in here, who is supposed to be Billy Batson, and I thought, Zachary Levi did that perfectly, playing like the kid and then the adult at the same time. And Freddie Freeman playing off of Zachary Levi was great. It seemed like they were best friends, and when they get into an argument, it felt real. So I enjoyed their chemistry. Dr. Savannah shows up and he tries to fight Shazam for the first time, and I thought that seems weird and it was boring, and I did not like it because I thought all of the story development in here with Thaddeus Savan, with Billy Batson, with setting up the Shazam wizard mythology with the demons, that all that stuff was excellent. And once we got into the superhero fight stuff, it kind of took me out. Even though it's a superhero movie and you're expecting the superhero fight, I didn't enjoy the superhero fight when I first saw it because I was enjoying the story way too much that I kind of forgot I was watching a superhero movie because the stories in here were really well executed. I had fun with this movie. I will say that I enjoyed the storyline more so than the superhero stuff. Leading into the Wizard Shazam thing, I thought that initially was very intriguing. Seeing the demons and the gargoyles was creepy. The special effects are great. The performances are great. But I enjoyed the stories, and I enjoyed the story with the villain. I enjoyed the story with the hero. I enjoyed the wizard mythology. The execution of the story is all perfect. Only negative thing I can say about this is that there were small little bitty nitpick things that I can talk about all day long, but I'm not going to get into because by the end, my verdict is this is a great movie. I understood the villain. I understood the hero. I liked all the additional side characters in here, even though they felt one-dimensional. Their characters played off of each other so well. I followed the narrative till the very end, even though I didn't like some of the superhero stuff in here. The negative things, they're small. Like the scene at the gas station where he gets shot and the thugs are just constantly shooting him when they could have done something else. It went on a little too much. It was a bit silly. Small stuff like that. You know, just little minor stuff that is not super important. It's just, I can nitpick this movie all day, but I'm not going to because I enjoyed the story in here more than anything. Some of the superhero stuff I could have done without, but Shazam is a great movie. It's my favorite DCEU movie, and that's all I have to say. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.